our knowledge series on corporate tax in UAE. In this video you will learn about the free zones corporate taxation. This video covers the following important matters related to corporate tax of free zone entities. Scope of corporate tax within free zones. 0% corporate tax rate for qualifying free zone person. Conditions for qualifying free zone persons. Qualifying income for free zone persons. Qualifying activities and excluded activities for free zone persons. Election to be subject to normal corporate tax. Introduction. In this video, we have discussed the special tax treatment which applies to free zones entities. Scope of corporate tax within free zones. Companies and branches which are registered in a free zone are referred to as free zone persons. Article 1 of the Corporate Tax Law defines a free zone person as a juridical person incorporated, established, formed, or otherwise registered in a free zone, including a branch of a non-resident person registered in a free zone. 0% corporate tax rate for qualifying free zone person. Qualifying free zone person benefits from a 0% corporate tax rate on qualifying income, which is defined in a Cabinet Decision number 100 on determining qualifying income for the qualifying free zone person, and is discussed in this video. According to Article 3 Clause 2 of the Corporate Tax Law, any income of a free zone person which does not qualify for the 0% rate will be taxed at the rate of 9%. Conditions for qualifying free zone persons. Under Article 18 Clause 1 of the Corporate Tax Law, qualifying free zone person must maintain adequate substance in UAE and comply with all of the following conditions. Derives qualifying income, explained in this video. Has not elected to be treated as taxable at the 9% rate. Compliance with arm's length and transfer pricing documentation requirements under Article 34 and 55 of the Corporate Tax Law, and meets any other conditions prescribed by the Minister. Under Article 5 Clause 1 of Ministerial Decision number 265 of 2023, regarding qualifying activities and excluded activities, qualifying free zone person must also meet following conditions. Have non-qualifying revenue not exceeding the lower of 5% of the total revenue of the qualifying free zone person in that tax period, or AED 5 million, that is, the de minimis requirement, and prepare audited financial statements in accordance with any decision issued by the Minister on the requirements to prepare and maintain audited financial statements for the purposes of the Corporate Tax Law. As per Article 18 Clause 2 of the Corporate Tax Law and Article 5 Clause 2 of Ministerial Decision number 265 of 2023, if a qualifying free zone person fails to meet aforementioned conditions at any time during a tax period, it will cease to qualify from the beginning of the tax period in which it failed to meet the conditions and for the subsequent 4 tax periods. Article 18 Clause 4 of the Corporate Tax Law mentions, the application of the 0% rate for qualifying free zone persons shall continue to apply for the remainder of the tax incentive period given in the applicable legislation of the free zone in which qualifying free zone person is registered. This may be extended in line with any conditions determined by the Cabinet, but no period may exceed 50 years. Maintaining adequate substance in the state. According to Article 8 of Cabinet Decision number 100 of 2023, qualifying free zone person must carry out its core income generating activities in a free zone and have adequate assets, an adequate number of qualified employees, and incur an adequate amount of operating expenditure in relation to the level of activity it carries on. Activities can be outsourced to a related party in a free zone or a third party in a free zone provided the qualifying free zone person has adequate supervision of the outsourced activity. Qualifying income for free zone persons. Under Article 3 of Cabinet Decision number 100 of 2023, qualifying income includes income derived from transactions with other free zone persons who are the ultimate beneficial recipient of the goods or services supplied, except for income derived from excluded activities discussed in this video. Income derived from transactions with a non-free zone person, but only in respect of qualifying activities that are not excluded activities. Income derived from the ownership or exploitation of qualifying intellectual property discussed in this video, and Other income if it falls within the de minimis requirement, which allows a qualifying free zone person to earn a small or incidental amount of non-qualifying revenue without losing its status as qualifying free zone person. Under Article 4, Clause 2 of Cabinet Decision No. 100 of 2023, non-qualifying revenue is the revenue derived from any of the following: excluded activities, non-qualifying activities, where the other party to the transaction is non-free zone person, and transactions with a free zone person where such free zone person is not the beneficial recipient of the relevant services or goods. According to Article 4, Clause 3 of Cabinet Decision No. 100 of 2023, for the purposes of determining if the 5% de minimis requirement is met, the following items are excluded from the calculation of total revenue, denominator factor, and non-qualifying revenue, numerator factor. Revenue attributable to commercial property located in a free zone from transactions with non-free zone persons. Revenue attributable to non-commercial property located in a free zone from transactions with any person. Revenue attributable to a domestic permanent establishment or a foreign permanent establishment, and revenue derived from the ownership or exploitation of intellectual property, unless such revenue is considered qualifying income. As per Article 3 Clause 2b of the Corporate Tax Law, revenue which is not qualifying income, even within de minimis limit, will be subject to a corporate tax rate of 9% directly and not benefit from the tax-free bracket of AED 375,000. Qualifying activities for free zone persons, that is income derived from transactions with a non-free zone person, in respect of qualifying activities that are not excluded activities. Under Article 2 Clause 1 of Ministerial Decision No. 265 of 2023, qualifying activities are manufacturing of goods or materials, processing of goods or materials, trading of qualifying commodities, holding of shares and other securities for investment purposes, ownership, management and operation of ships, reinsurance services that are subject to the regulatory oversight of the competent authority in UAE, fund management services that are subject to the regulatory oversight of the competent authority in UAE, wealth and investment management services that are subject to the regulatory oversight of the competent authority in UAE, headquarter services to related parties, treasury and financing services to related parties, financing and leasing of aircraft, including engines and rotatable components, distribution of goods or materials in or from a designated zone to a customer that resells them or processes or alters them for the purposes of sale or resale, logistics services. Any activities that are ancillary to the activities listed above. To be ancillary, the activity is necessary for the performance of the main activity or where it makes a minor contribution and cannot be regarded as a separate activity. Excluded activities for free zone persons, that is income which cannot be derived from transactions with any person. Under Article 2 Clause 2 of Ministerial Decision No. 265 of 2023, excluded activities are any transactions with natural persons, except transactions which are qualifying activities relating to ships, fund management services, wealth and investment management services, and financing and leasing of aircraft, as set out in the aforementioned Clause 1. Banking activities that are subject to the regulatory oversight of the competent authority in UAE. Insurance activities that are subject to the regulatory oversight of the competent authority in UAE, other than qualifying activities relating to reinsurance services and headquarters services provided to related parties, as set out in the aforementioned Clause 1. Finance and leasing activities that are subject to the regulatory oversight of the competent authority in UAE, except transactions which are qualifying activities relating the ownership, management, and operation of ships, treasury and financing services provided to related parties, and financing and leasing of aircraft, as set out in the aforementioned Clause 1. Ownership or exploitation of immovable property, other than commercial property located in a free zone where the transaction in respect of such commercial property is conducted with other free zone persons. Any activities that are ancillary to the activities above. To be ancillary, the activity is necessary for the performance of the main activity or where it makes a minor contribution and cannot be regarded as a separate activity. Election to be subject to corporate tax. Article 19 Clause 2 of the Corporate Tax Law states, a free zone person can make an election to be subject to the regular corporate tax rate, which will be applicable from either the beginning of the tax period of the election, or the beginning of the following tax period. According to Article 18 Clause 1(c) of the Corporate Tax Law, and Article 5 Clause 2 of Ministerial Decision No. 265 of 2023, once an election is made, the free zone person will no longer satisfy all the conditions to be or become for a qualifying free zone person. Consequently, it shall cease to be a qualifying free zone person in that tax period and subsequent for tax periods. This ends our video session. Subscribe to our channel, and click on notification icon to stay tuned to the series of valuable material that will cover all aspects of the UAE corporate tax. Our partner is available for free consultation who is holder of FTA-approved UAE corporate tax qualification. His contact details are provided here. Visit finexcel.ae. Navigate to our clients and testimonials webpage to see more clients' review on our services and our major clientele. Contact us for more detail. FinExcel. We create value that matters.